Hello, everyone. On today's podcast episode, I'm going to talk about love and hate, you know, and what to watch out for if you're someone who likes, who wants to get into a relationship. You know, I've talked about relationship a lot in this, podcast, and I talked about how there are good relationships and bad relationships. Most people choose to enter bad relationships because it's easier to pretend you love someone than to actually love someone. And this is the problem. You think most people love each other because they act like they love each other. But the truth is, it's easier to pretend you like someone than it is to like someone, you know. And you really need to watch out, when you're trying to get into a relationship or when someone presents you with an opportunity to be in a relationship with them, you have to be careful of who you're dealing with. A poisonous snake, right? A poisonous snake and a non-poisonous snake wear the same camouflage. So you have to be careful of which one. You have to be careful which snake you pick up. Otherwise, you may get poisoned, bitten to death by the most poisonous, vicious snake in your life, and die within a few minutes. And just like you have to be careful of which snake you deal with, do not take people's word for it. If you don't know if a snake is poisonous or not, do not touch it. Be very careful when handling it. Wear gloves, wear safety, equipment. Do not play with it. Do not, risk your life over a snake. Never risk your life over a snake. And that goes with relationships as well. The most cruelest demons, right, are always the one who pretend they love you the most. The people who don't love you pretend they love you more than the people who do love you. The person who does not love you will pretend more, will buy you more, will be more flamboyant when they chase after you. They're the ones who do the most. Why? They're overcompensating for the fact that they don't love you. They don't want you to know that they don't love you. So what? They'll do even more. They'll be even more, they'll spend even more energy chasing after you than the person who actually loves you. They are the ones who go above and beyond to make you happy. They'll try their best because they're compensating for the fact that they don't love you. Behind all that love, all those words of, I love you, you know, I'll do everything for you, is a cold-hearted person who's only using you for for something. They're either pretending to love you for your body or just for their own reputation. You know, getting a person, getting you maybe, may boost their reputation, whether you're a man or a woman. Get into a relationship with you could boost their reputation around their friends. Or it could be for money. There's reputation, there's money, there's so many different things, that comes with relationships. Some people are very kind. Because you're kind, many people will try to get into a relationship with you, whether they like you or not. And the most forceful ones are always the ones that do not love you. Why? It's because if you love someone, you're more careful when dealing with them. You're less likely to hurt them, or you try less and less to hurt them than, when you don't love them. When you love someone, you treat them with respect. You treat them like a vase, like an expensive vase that could break any moment. You don't want them to be harmed. You don't want them to to be angry at you. You don't want them to be jealous of you or jealous of someone else. You treat them carefully because you don't want to harm them. You may not be as forceful, as pretentious as someone who does not love them at all. Someone who does not love you is the one that, is more forceful, more pretentious. You can tell, behind all the pretentious love, you can just tell there's some callousness to it. There's some forcefulness to it. They're more controlling, more ill-mannered, more mocking, more insulting of you. And it's hard to tell, right away which is which. In the in the beginning of the relationship, it's hard to tell which is which, because the ones who do not love you are the ones who pretend to love you the most. Because it's easier to pretend you love someone than it is to actually love someone. It's far easier. It's easier to create a business plan than to actually follow through with the business plan. It's easier to lie than it is to tell the truth. It's easier to go to hell than it is to go to heaven. So if you're someone who wants to get into a relationship, you have to be very careful of who you get into a relationship with. There are too many cases of women getting killed by men. There are too many cases of men getting killed by their wives, by their lovers, over money. So you have to be very careful. Because if you treat all snakes as non-poisonous, one of these days you'll catch a poisonous snake, and that poisonous snake will kill you. If you treat all, man or woman, if you treat all potential suitors as non-poisonous, one of these days you catch a poisonous snake. One of these days you meet the most deadly demon in the world, all because he pretends a lot that he likes you. Do not take people's word for it. If someone says he loves you, it means nothing. It's easy to say words. It's very easy to say words. It's easy to lie. It's very easy to lie. See their actions, and not just their temporary actions, but their long-term actions. Be very careful. Many people will pretend they love you, right? But the moment you say no, the moment you deny them affection, you start to see the true colors, especially the people who don't love you. If they try, if they try their best to pretend they love you and you still deny them love, many of them will break, and you start to see who they truly are. They'll become violent, cruel, argumentative, and pressuring. They'll try to force you into a relationship either way. If you tell someone you don't want to be in a relationship with them and they're still very forceful, chances are they don't like you. People who like you do not treat you like a slave. People who like you will not force you into a relationship with them. It's just a fact. If someone likes you, they would never try to force you into a relationship with them, whether they're male or female. If someone likes you, they will give you what? Basic respect and dignity. If you say you don't want to be in a relationship with them, they'll stop and move on. Why? Because they do not want to harm you. They do not want you to see them in a bad light. They do not want you to, look down on them. They do not want you to mock or insult them. They do not want, your opinion of them to change. If someone likes you, they treat you with respect and dignity. When you say no, they'll listen and they'll move on. When someone does not like you, that's when they get forceful. Even when you say no, they'll still try to force themselves into your life. Even when you say no, they become that stalker that never gives up, because it sees you more like a slave than a human being. It sees you like a pet than a human being. There are too many cases of women getting killed by, the suitors who pretend they love them. They pretend they love them, and the women actually believe it. And then guess what? When the woman finally says, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You're too violent, you're too cruel, you're too mean, you're too bossy, you're too controlling. you're too, arrogant, you're too insulting, whatever the case is. Guess what? These men stalk the women for the rest of their lives. And then when they get to them, they rape and kill them. Is that an act of love? Is rape and murder an act of love? It's not. You don't murder someone you love. It's just a fact. So if you find someone killing their spouse, if you find a man killing their spouse, or you find a woman killing, her husband, that fact, that the fact that, they harm them shows they don't love them. If you find a man hitting his wife, that act alone tells you they do not love that woman. If you find a woman hitting their husband, that act alone tells you there's no love there. It's easy to say you love someone. It's hard to actually love someone. Someone who loves you treats you like a vase, an expensive vase. They'll try very hard not to break you. They'll try very hard to make sure no harm comes to you. They'll try to protect you at all costs. While the person who doesn't love you does the equal and opposite. Pretend they love you while they're actively trying to break you. Act as if all they do is care about you. All they want is you. But the moment you deny them, affection, they'll try to break you. They'll try to harm you. That's when they become manipulative. That's when they become, they start to bully you. They try to coerce you into a relationship. They try to coerce you into staying with them. They try to bribe you. They do all these conniving things to keep you in the relationship. Why? Because they see you as a slave. And the slave should not escape their masters. This is why you have to be careful. Because it's easy to get into a relationship. It's hard to leave it. The moment you get into a relationship with someone, you find it very hard to say no. You find it very hard to run away from them. Why? Because now they know your house address. They know your place of living. The longer you've been in a relationship with them, the more they know things about you. Your parents' home, your brothers and sisters' home, where, your friends and family's houses. Meaning it's hard to avoid them on a daily basis. It's easy now when they don't know you. When he or she does not know you, it's easy now. But the moment, you get into a relationship with them, now they know everything about you. Even if you want to avoid them, you can't. So they can stalk you to your house. They can stalk you to your workplace. They can stalk you anywhere. And if they're the evil ones, if they're the violent ones, they'll just try to kill you somewhere. There's a case of a guy who broke up with his girlfriend, right? And then from then on, all she did was stalk him. Stalk him home, stalk him to work. He ended up calling the cops. I think the cops ended up finding out she was trying to kill him. And this is what you have to be careful of in life, is that you don't know who truly loves you or not. They all act the same way. They will all, they'll both pretend. The person who loves you and the person who doesn't love you, they will both pretend they love you in the very beginning. The ones who love you, the most may never act like as if they love you the most. While the ones who don't love you at all with the ones who pretend they love you the most. They overcompensate for the fact that they don't love you. They don't want you to find out they don't love you. So that, they become even more flamboyant in the act of love. They're the ones who try the most. They are the ones who try the most to get your heart. Because they don't love you. They don't want you to find out they don't love you. But the moment they start insulting you, mocking you, bullying you, that act alone tells you they don't love you. If your lover insults you, by default, they do not love you. Whether they're male or female. If your lover puts their hands on you, by default, they do not love you. If your lover is very controlling, very manipulative, very insulting, very scheming, chances are they don't love you. There are very manipulative people in this world who will pretend they love you just because they need to take a ticker in their lives that tells everyone, hey, I'm a married man or I'm a married woman. I married a distinguished person. So they keep you like a pet in their house. They get into a relationship with you, you know, thinking of using you like a slave. And slave masters do not like runaway slaves. Slave masters do not like when their slaves run away. So when you try to break up with them, that's when you realize that they never saw you as a human being, but a pet, but a slave. And they'll start treating you like the slave they see you as. So if you're someone who wants to get into a relationship in a relationship, be very careful because you don't know who's the poisonous snake and who's the non-poisonous one. They both look alike. They both behave the same way. From afar, you think they're the greatest lovers in the world, both of them. But as time goes on, the poisonous snakes, will slowly start to show its true colors. And you see who he truly is. As time goes on, the female poisonous snake will start to show her true colors. And you'll see her for who she truly is. So before you see someone for who they truly are, be very careful around them. Otherwise, you'll be added to the statistics of people getting killed by their spouses. And then, the statistics are very high. You're more likely to be killed by someone you know than someone you don't know. That should tell you something. You're not living in a world where, you're not living in a utopia. Everyone isn't kind. And people get into relationships not because of love. Most people do not get into a relationship because they love someone. It's just a fact. This is why most relationships end in divorce. Because most people do not get into a relationship because they love someone. It's just how life works. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.